Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. Well, you know that building a business empire from the scratch all the way up can be rewarding, yes, of course, but it can also be a very Herculean and tasking venture. Well, today we've got an expert in the house. I call him an expert because this is a man who has been able to build his own very business empire out of nothing. And today he's a successful entrepreneur. So he will take us on the topic, a guide to building a business empire. Let's meet and greet my guest. I have with me engineer Dr. Darlington Ugota. He's the chairman CEO for the Extension Group and also the executive director of Valentine Homes and Properties. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you
so much for coming to the program.
Thank you.
It's such an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
Let us start by you. Tell me how you got into the world of entrepreneurship in the first place.
All right. Just like you have rightly introduced me, my name is engineer Dr. Darlington Ugota. By the special grace of God, I studied mechanical engineering, in the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. And so when I graduated 2014, went for service 2015, 2016. So after 2016, I came back to Abuja, where I submitted my CV just like an ordinary person would do. Went for interviews and we were shortlisted, in some places, and but they never called us, to resume. And the while I was waiting, I looked around. I saw that there were certain things I could also do outside, what I studied. Yeah, so I saw some persons who were into network marketing, right? So I saw this person is in the network marketing, is making a huge progress, and it's something I know I can do, right? So I had to get closer to them to learn how to do the network marketing. From the network marketing, we get to see their products. I created a website for the product. So I was not doing it the regular way some other persons were doing it, right? So I noticed that when I placed this in online, people would call me and place order for this product, right? So I also considered that now that I could place these products, online and people can call me and make a demand for this product, it therefore means that if I place, a land or a house for sale online, people could also call me. Then I started thinking of how to extend into real estate. But it was a big problem because I didn't know who to call. I had to go online, to Google the real estate companies in Abuja. Yeah, I remember very clearly. I got, the phone numbers of some companies online. I called the first one, he rang, but nobody picked. I called the second one, nobody picked. The third one, somebody picked, and then I told him I wanted to be part of their company if they had products for sale. That I am a marketer. I decided to keep aside, my mechanical engineering.
Certificate.
Yeah. So he directed me to his office. The next day I went to his office. When he talked with me, he was impressed. He said he wanted me to be a member of his team. But then again, I told him I already had a business I was doing that I would want just to be marketing his product. Then he added me in a platform. And then it was from that platform, people would advertise products they have for sale, and then the ones they want to buy. So that was how I started learning the business. But then again, it was more than 3 months, and I didn't even record any sale. But I learned some things about the business. So one day they advertised a job opportunity in the platform. They said a real estate company needed marketers. So then I said, this might be my best time to go fully into this business. So I had to look for someone else, who would be, attending to my programs in the network marketing area. And then I went fully into the real estate sector, where I learned how to do the business. And then from there, I joined another company. And then I worked for 5 companies. And then eventually I met, in one of those companies, I met one of my friends. And then together we started Valentine Homes and Properties Limited as our first company. So the experiences I gathered working with these other persons actually helped me, to start. To spring up. And then that helped us to start the Valentine Homes and Properties Limited. As we made progress, I also started my own company, the Extension Group, that has about 6 different companies in it now.
This is definitely stuff that dreams are made of. Interesting. Okay, now if an average youth wanted to delve into the world of entrepreneurship, what are some of the ways they can just build themselves? All the what are the basics they should have at the back of their minds?
Yeah, there are basically two ways I know you can start a business. The one that worked for me and the one I want to share. I will share the both. Like if you never had an idea of any business and you want to start from scratch, first of all, you need to understand that building a business is a process. It's not a one-time event.
It's not magic.
Yeah, it's not magic. And then it requires discipline, it requires vision, it requires strategies and consistent, actions. There are a lot of persons, once they try once,
And
if
it
there's no
fails.
results, they'll go. No, that's not business. And then again, the vision is very important. Like I would tell my staff that when you are sleeping, what you see is your dream, the
The
dream.
vision.
But the vision is what keeps you awake, right? Yeah, it's the vision that keeps you awake, and your vision is a mental picture of what you want to achieve and how you want to achieve them. That how is very important because that is where you adopt the strategies. A lot of persons want to achieve a lot of things, but they don't have the plans. At the end of the day, it's just a mere dream, right? So you need to also you have the vision of what you want the business you want to venture into. The first thing you need to identify is what problem are you solving.
Solving.
If you're starting from the scratch, because most people, join businesses because of the profits they are seeing or they think they will make, and not the problem they will solve. But the point is that money flows to people that can solve problems. So once you identify a problem you can solve, for example, you live in a community or your area where people, have need for water.
Yeah.
You see that having a bottled water factory is a good business, right? You stay in a place where, there is no constant power. You know that when you venture into solar energy solution, it's a business that can thrive. So you identify a problem, right?
In your area.
And in an area, and that problem becomes, what you start your business with. And then again, as somebody who's starting, from the scratch, you need to start small.
Okay.
Start with what you have. One of the mistakes people make
Start
is
small and believe it can grow.
exactly. Some people go as far as borrowing money to start a business. Personally, I don't encourage people to do that because business is all about taking risk, right? So when you borrow money from somebody, it means you will always be very conscious not to make mistake. That pressure will not even allow you to take a calculated risk, right? But when you start with what you have, if you move in this direction and it is not giving what you want, you can easily adjust because you're still operating very small. And the experiences you gather, starting small, is now what will help you to make more progress.
The estimating groups keeps advancing and diversifying. You're even into a sports academy. What makes you stand out, as a conglomerate?
Yeah, basically, we have
Team
integrity.
is a very vast industry.
What has made me to stand out and my company to stand out is our integrity and excellence.
Okay.
It's not just our slogan, it is what we do. Like we keep to our words. We do things right even when people are not watching. In business, most of the times it's difficult to say the truth when it is not convenient. But we do that because we know our core value, which is integrity. And of course, we also know how people feel, when they are attended to properly. So nobody forgets.
Customer service.
Yeah, exactly. So we make sure that we have excellent customer service. So this has also helped us to stand out in the business. And of course, we know that to stay ahead in the business, you have to be innovative. Yeah, because when you don't evolve, you dissolve. Yeah.
Let me take it right up from him there. You heard it. When you don't evolve, you dissolve. You're a great team leader, obviously. For you to make success as an entrepreneur, leading a whole lot of people in your team, how do you motivate them and how do you help them to stay focused and, be on target at all times?
Yeah, in my company, we adopt, people-driven leadership style.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, the people-driven leadership style focuses on the people before the profits. So what we do is that we create an atmosphere, an environment where everybody's creativity counts, right? So we create an environment where everybody feels free, to work, right? So we try to separate personal relationship from professional relationship.
Okay.
Yeah. So and this way we also recognize, and identify excellence. We reward excellence. For example, in my company, every month we usually award the best staff.
Wow.
Yeah, so this way it helps us identify people who perform outstandingly and reward them accordingly. Yeah, and then of course for resolving conflicts. When you are resolving a conflict in a company, there are things you look at. First of all, one of the things we do is that we face the conflict as it is, because a conflict you ignore multiplies. Right? So what we do is that we identify this conflict with clarity, attend to it immediately, and address it professionally.
Business isn't wrong with sentiment.
Yeah, it's not wrong with sentiment. And of course, we address the issue, not the people. This is also one of the mistakes some people make in the offices, in their various offices. You see, when an issue comes up, you want to ask who are the persons involved. When you want to know the persons involved, it will make you to be sentimental about it. But when you address the issue, not the people, it also goes a very long way. And then again, we listen and lead.
Okay.
Yeah, because it is also important that you understand the root cause of the problem, not just the reaction. For example, if somebody says another person is stupid and the other person slaps the person that said is stupid, it is not wise to start judging, the person who slapped, because action and reaction are equal and opposite. So when you understand the root cause of the issue, you will be able to address the reaction, and that way you will also be able to, listen to the parties involved and not being biased. Some persons, want, to be heard before they heal. So even if you want to conclude anything in favor of somebody, the person will still want you to hear him or her, and that way people heal faster. And of course, we also adopt wisdom and empathy. When you put yourself in the shoe of others, it is easier to say, okay, this thing should have been done this way, and this thing should be done this way. So these are basically the things we adopt in conflict resolution in our office.
Nice one. A smart entrepreneur also thinks about innovation, diversifying at the right time, the right pace. You try and balance risk taking and check if it's going to be profitable in the first place. And how do you go about all this? When do you know what to do, what and how to go about all of it?
Yeah, first of all,
why did you start the Sports Academy in the first place?
Well, like I said, if you want to start a business, it's about solving problems.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about solving problems. For me, when I got home and then I saw the talents in my place. By the way, my Sports Academy is in my home in Ebonyi State.
Okay.
I'm based in Abuja. It's in Abuja I do my business officially, though I have branches in Asaba and some other places in Nigeria. But the Sports Academy is based in my state. It's primarily to help, the talents in my place. So I know that when any problem is solved, money will naturally come.
Okay.
So we don't place the money first. We place the problem first. So knowing full well that when we solve the problem, the money. So I believe that when these talents are given the opportunity, to excel, definitely profits will come. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, how do you balance this risk you're taking, and how do you? They say in business you have to calculate your risk. What is the best way to go about it?
Yeah, basically for me, I will take calculated risk. Yeah, because if you want to test the depth of the river, you don't use your both legs.
Okay.
You use one while you place one on a safer ground, so that if you get to a level you no longer understand, you can easily withdraw. Yeah. So we take calculated risk based on research and data. And also, we adopt 70-30 rule.
What's that?
Yeah, the 70-30 rule is when we have an idea that is 70% clear and is potential, we move forward with it and adjust along the way. Because if you're waiting to have it 100%, you might miss the opportunity.
It's been wonderful having you here. Before I let you go, I mean, in a world today where young people continually seek for shortcuts, way out, Yahoo, vices, and all of that, talk to young people. What would be your advice to them so that they know that these things are doable and empire can actually be built out of hard work?
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, one of the ways to avoid shortcuts is following the process. You see, following the process is very important because the process is what turns your vision, to a reality. A lot of persons want to trend. A lot of people want to be successful. A lot of people want to be wealthy, but they are not ready to embark on the journey. And that's why we say most people like the crown, but they ignore the journey, right? They like the reward, but they don't like the routine. They like the lifestyle, but they hate the life work. It is important to establish that, establishing a business which is also part of wealth creation, is step by step. It is not snap by snap.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if you boycott the process, it will certainly lead you, into losses. So, and that is why we know that one of the ways, to follow the process is to, adopt delayed gratification.
Okay.
Yeah, your ability to say no now so that you can say yes tomorrow. Your ability to resist the immediate reward for now, so that tomorrow you have a better reward. A lot of people want it now. That is the problem. Yeah, but if you can delay that gratification and then give yourself some time, as a young person, it will equally help you, because most persons, just want it now. If you follow the process, you'll be able to grow. If you skip the process, you blow. That's what I was telling myself, that if you get to the top by cutting the process, you blow. And when there's any disturbance on the system, you fall freely, right? But when you follow the process, you grow. If anything happens, you will always find some way to hold your hands.
First foundation.
Yeah. So, and that is basically what, and again, is discipline. Discipline is very important, because it is discipline that will make you know that everybody is doing it does not mean that it's right. If they call everybody is showing up, it doesn't mean that you must show up, because you need to also take your time to build yourself. And most importantly, for you to even be disciplined, you need to engage in continuous learning. Yes, and this is the area some young persons have actually missed it, because the things that will make you stand out, the things that will make you, when you speak, you command attention, are all hidden inside books.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you are exposed to continuous learning, definitely you will learn more and be able to follow the due process. And of course, like I must say this, that the beauty of success is not in the crown, but in the process that shapes the head that is wearing the crown.
Thank you so much for coming. It's been most insightful speaking with you. We will do this again soon because of time. Well, there you have it from him. No pain, no gain, no guts, no glory. What more can I say? Building a business empire is Herculean tasking, but it is doable, following the right tenets.